Hi, welcome back. And today I'm going to tell you all about the in-house presentation at IDSA. So what is the IHP, you might be asking? So it's called in-house presentation, and you get to do it at the end of your freshers program. It's a performance that you do, but it's in-house, like the name suggests. So no directors or agents are going to be there. Just tutors, other students, and obviously the people who are grading you, who are IDSA staff. So nobody from the outside world will be seeing you, unlike the showcase, which is something else. You do have a specific class dedicated to the IHP in your second term of the freshers program. So what happens in this class is in the first weeks, the professor uses the class like an audition. So you get to do a lot of different scripts with a lot of different colleagues, and then they decide what is going to be your scene, your role, and who you're going to be partnered with. So once you get assigned a role and a partner, you have to stick with that till the end and then perform that in this IHP. In the last 3-4 weeks are going to be a chance for you to fine-tune your performance, so you get tips on lighting, framing, setting, and tips to make it seem more realistic. So you do have a long time to rehearse, and we're super encouraged to rehearse outside of class. So in theory, you should be rehearsing like a few times a week with your partner, and then you have the classes to fine-tune stuff with the tutor, so that when you do get to the IHP, you are fully prepared and really ready to showcase what you have to offer. So on the day, you do a warm-up, and you have a chance to rehearse maybe once or twice with your partner. And then when the time comes, the tutor will say, okay, we are ready. Last chance, deep breath. We're gonna be letting people in the Zoom room, and we're gonna start. So we then performed by order. We knew exactly who was gonna go when, and it went really smoothly for all of us. One little piece of advice I would give you is always be responsible for your own performance. So what do I mean exactly is you kind of need to be prepared that unexpected things can happen. So in terms of lighting, in terms of setting, in terms of framing, in terms of your partner, in terms of virtually anything that you don't control. Well, why am I saying this? So with me, something like that did happen on my IHP. So we agreed together with the teacher that we were going to be doing the performance like it were a phone call, so like a video call. And so each of us was at home with their phone, and so we were holding like our phone like this and performing, so walking around the house and stuff. And supposedly like miscommunication happened, and my partner decided that this was not flattering. And so they decided to just on the day of the performance hold their phone like on a tripod, so that they had like a lot of space for their physicality, room to like express themselves, and like more, you know, of them in the frame, which is totally different than having like your phone like right here. It's just really like, you know, smaller close-up frame, and so it's just not the same. And what ended up happening was that I was still like using my phone and they were not, and so this totally like threw off the balance of the performance, in my opinion, because the viewer didn't understand that it was a phone call. So I think it really showed that, okay, this is just a regular performance, and so this person is really like on point. They have a tripod, they're moving around, and the other person is amateur, doesn't own a tripod, so she has to hold her phone in her hand. So that's kind of how I interpret it. I think that it's just kind of like screwed up my performance in a way. And I don't know, I think at the time I was really like pissed off about it, but then I was like, this can happen to me anywhere. It will probably happen to me in the future on set, so I really need to like take ownership of my performance, and it doesn't matter what the other person is doing. I have to be the best version of the character that I can be with the circumstances that I have. And so basically just, it's a tip, but it's more of like a reflection. So yeah, just take ownership of your performance and really just do not let external factors influence you, you know, as best you can, obviously, but it is something that can happen and you really need to be prepared for it. So, like I said before, the results are going to define which grade you're going to be placed in. Then, after in the core program, you have, I think, 4 levels, or yeah, you have foundation, intermediate, advanced, and tier 1. And what happens is on the day of your IHP, you're graded in terms of ownership of space, presence, connection, vocal clarity, and embodiment of character. So you're graded from 1 to 10 on each of these topics. And at the end, you have like a final grade, and that final grade will then decide the level you're going to be placed in. So about a week later, our class started receiving their results by email, and most of them were placed in intermediate, which was really cool and exciting. And eventually my results came in and I was placed in foundation. So like, I'm pretty sure that it's due to the story that I mentioned previously, but obviously I can't know that this was the reason why I was placed in foundation and not intermediate like most of my class. But it's just a little bit sad because I did want to be with the rest of my class because they're all so amazing and great. But it doesn't matter which level we're placed in because it's only like our first term of core program, and I do have multiple chances to, you know, level up later. And yeah, whatever happens, I just want to give it my all and the rest will happen. So hopefully this was enlightening for you, and if you do have any more questions, you can always ask me in the comments. And I can't wait to tell you all about core program, showcase, everything else. So stick around and don't forget to subscribe.